Hello there, and welcome back to our YouTube channel. Today we're exploring the world of discoveries and listing the top 10 discoveries that will change how you see the world. So, get ready to explore the world. Before that, don't forget to click the bell symbol to be notified of new videos and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Prepare yourself to travel the world. 10. Diabetes could be controlled by a bionic pancreas in both adults and children. The management of type 1 diabetes, which affects roughly many people, requires constant effort. BU Biomedical Engineers' novel prosthetic pancreas could provide some long-needed relief. Recent research has shown that the iLet, which can be clipped to a belt and automatically administers customized dosages of insulin every 5 minutes, helps both adults and kids with their glycated hemoglobin, A1C, levels, a marker of blood glucose control. The gadget is being created by Beta Bionics, a non-profit organization that Ed Damiano, a professor of biomedical engineering at the BU College of Engineering, co-founded. 9. Memories are visible. Today, neuroscientists are able to see a memory's activation, locate its location in the brain, and even determine whether it is a good or negative memory. Emotional memories are physically unique from other types of brain cells, and distinct from one another. According to research from the Ramirez lab, positive and negative memories contain different molecular machinery, are stored in various regions of the hippocampus, and interact in different ways. The research team in the lab also found that by artificially stimulating happier memories, bad memories can be changed. They anticipate that their research will one day create the groundwork for novel therapies for mental health conditions like post-traumatic stress disorder and depression. 8. Mosquitoes have an odd sense of smell, which may be why they think we're so appetizing to them. When you sniff anything, olfactory sensory neurons in your nose detect the scent and transmit a coded message to your brain. Your brain then converts the signal into a specific smell, such as the aroma of freshly baked goods, freshly mowed grass, or decaying rubbish. Mosquitoes have unique wiring. Because each of their olfactory neurons has several sensory receptors, they may have a heightened sense of smell and a better chance of finding you. 7. Greenery may improve your brain function and lower your risk of developing dementia. According to a study of almost 14,000 women with an average age of 61, those who spent more time in green areas had higher cognitive function, faster mental processing, and better attention. Alzheimer's disease risk has been linked to cognitive function in middle age. How does being surrounded by lots of green places maintain the health of our brains? Researchers hypothesize that this is because exposure to nature aids in stress relief and promotes social interaction, both of which improve mental health in general. 6. NASA intentionally destroys an asteroid to reroute it. NASA researchers hit an astronomical bullseye in September 2022 when they purposefully directed the $314 million, 1,210-pound, 550-kilogram, Double Asteroid Redirection Test, DART, spacecraft into the asteroid Dimorphos about 56 feet, 17 meters, from its precise center. The purpose of the test was to determine whether, given enough time, a small spacecraft propelled along a predetermined course could divert an asteroid away from a possibly catastrophic collision with Earth. Additionally, it was a huge success. The probe's initial objective was to shift Dimorphos' orbit by at least 73 seconds around its larger partner, the 1,280-foot-wide, 390 m, asteroid Didymos, but in reality, Dimorphos' orbit was altered by an astounding 32 minutes. NASA hailed the collision as a turning point in planetary security since it was the first time humans had successfully avoided an extraterrestrial Armageddon without Bruce Willis's help. This test might not be conducted only at this time. In a further attempt to deflect an asteroid, China claims that in 2026 it will launch 23 of its 992-ton, 900 metric tons, long March 5 rockets toward the asteroid Bennu. And this time, Bennu might genuinely pose a threat to Earth because there is a 1 in 750 possibility that it will collide with us in the next 300 years, according to estimates. 5. Climate change's impacts could already be irreversible. The sixth report by the UN's Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change, IPCC, was released 2022 in stages. For many climate experts, reading the report was depressing, but it also provided some optimism. Why is it depressing? Because the sixth report confirmed what experts have been saying for years, that human activity, specifically in the form of greenhouse gas emissions, is to blame for the warming that has occurred over the past few centuries, and that unless such emissions are drastically reduced, we will soon bring about the extinction of both ourselves and our entire ecosystem. The analysis came to the conclusion that it is too late to stop global warming from increasing by 1.5 degrees Celsius over the next couple of hundred years since it has already been baked in. This makes it tougher to achieve the objective set forth in the historic Paris Agreement of 2015, wherein countries committed to keeping global warming below 2 degrees Celsius and ideally below 1.5 degrees Celsius. The COP27 summit, which was later in the year after the IPCC report and was deemed a complete failure, other than some commitment on loss and damage, by Professor Dan Mitchell, a climate scientist at the University of Bristol, added to the issue. But we have anticipated it. A glimpse of hope, too. In comparison to earlier studies, the IPCC's sixth report had a broader perspective and examined in greater detail for the first time the contribution of short-lived greenhouse gases like methane to warming. The greatest strategy is always to reduce carbon emissions and tackle the issue head-on, according to Mitchell. But after decades of trying, we know that this isn't really working, so we need different strategies to aid with this. Because methane is so transient compared to carbon dioxide, we haven't been as concerned about it. Constricting climate sensitivity was a crucial factor, Mitchell continued. The most significant IPCC working groups presented various avenues for adaptation to lessen the effects. In addition to reducing carbon emissions, there are additional actions we can take to prevent climate change and lessen its worst effects. These potential adaptation routes are described in the IPCC report. This would entail taking steps to slow down population growth and financial inequality, switching to a more plant-based diet to reduce methane emissions, and working to find ways to remove CO2 that is already in our atmosphere rather than just preventing its release. 4. Editing a genome. It has given scientists the ability to physically remove genes and the regulatory components that control them, as well as, more exhilaratingly, to monitor their activity. Understanding the mechanics underpinning how biological systems function as well as the diseases that disrupt them has been made possible thanks to this. It's exciting to note that several of these initiatives are even currently undergoing clinical testing and should eventually enter the clinic. 3. Forest edges have faster growing trees than the center. You would think that trees on the periphery of forests would struggle since sidewalks squeeze them and cars spew toxins in their direction. However, edge trees develop twice as quickly as those nestled away deep in the woods, according to BU researchers, probably because they receive more light. Good news for us, then. A tree absorbs more carbon dioxide as it becomes larger. 2. A beating heart that is smaller than a computer chip has been created by researchers. Even though it is only the size of a postage stamp, a tiny duplicate of a living heart chamber could have a significant influence on the management of heart disease. The mini pump device, which mimics the heart's natural rhythm, is made of nano-engineered components and human heart tissue that was generated from stem cells. It will be used by researchers to get a close-up look at cardiac illness, examine how it develops, and test potential new, tailored treatments. 1. Astronomers discover a thermonuclear explosion that is so large that it requires a new category. This year, large bangs other than the Large Bang were also being investigated. Astronomers observed a dead star on the Milky Way's edge burst in 2011 in such an extravagantly violent manner that they proposed an entirely new category of thermonuclear explosion for it this year. The enormous explosion, known as a hyperburst, most likely occurred as a result of a neutron star, the core of a dead star, ripping off globules of gas from a partner star. Once the gas contacted the neutron star's surface, the gas exploded on impact. Due to the intense heat and pressure created by these explosions, even heavy elements like oxygen and neon started to fuse inside the core of the star, setting off a runaway cascade of events. The outcome: the one and only neutron star explosion that was ever discovered generated more energy in 3 minutes than the Sun does in 800 years. Astronomers doubt they will see another hyperburst in their lifetime since the conditions for them are so uncommon, but that won't stop them from studying the system it originated from to find out more information about how the boom got so huge. To keep the discoveries from going awry, this new universe will need new methodologies and attitudes. As the discoveries take hold, controls must be put in place in the shape of ethics and laws. Let's proactively work to integrate people and discoveries in order to not only address development and health difficulties, but also to build a better and more just world. By cooperating, we may actively mold these discoveries for the benefit of all. So, today you witnessed the 10 mind-blowing discoveries. I hope this video might help change your perspective on the world. Stay with us to explore the new dimensions of the world. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Thanks for watching.